up in the place. We're bright, we're breezy. It's Sunday morning, and we have natural light in the studio, in our respective studios. And the sun is shining, isn't it, guys? Because Liverpool have won a football match. Big warm welcome to JSS
Greetings.
and to Mr. Samuj.
Good morning for the first time from a slightly overcast Costa del Dartford, but we'll take it.
Costa del Dartford it's a new one on me. And actually, because we visited Wolves for the second time in 2 days, I was wondering what kind of climates that the players had to endure, and also what they might have got up to in that time. Because I doubt they would have jumped back on the motorway with a game just around the corner. Have either of you guys ever had the pleasure of going to Wolverhampton?
Yeah, it's not my favourite place, but it's not that bad. It's not as bad as Medway says.
What did Medway say?
I think he pretty much said it's a shithole.
It's a shit. Yeah, I think he said it's a. I think he meant to post it on his either burner account or his private story, but he put it on his main to probably.
Oh, someone hacked his account, didn't
Yeah.
they?
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Or someone in his team did it.
So, someone had to lose their job after that, and it couldn't be him. Couldn't sack himself.
Definitely not.
What about you, Miss Samuel? You been to Wolverhampton?
I've been through Wolverhampton. That's probably as close as it gets. Might have stepped on the platform during some engineering work sometimes because it's a bit of a train hub, but the actual city itself, not yet. Let's put it that way.
Not yet, and no plans in the diary. I take it.
Also, they're about to get relegated, so it's not as if that's going to happen anytime soon. So,
you know what? I spent a long time living in Watford, and I've got to say the whole vibe of the place changed when we were Premier League. I say we,
Yeah.
when the club was Premier League. I've been exposed. When the club got into Premier League, it was a whole different story. I've got to tell you, it was like people on a high. Things seemed to be slightly more expensive. Property
the
prices
streets were
would go
clean
up.
around Watford town centre.
The streets were clean on a Saturday. Well, maybe on a Friday night.
Another story.
But yeah,
With us,
relegation does harm you. We'll be talking about Spurs later. What that might do to that area. Don't sure it can get any worse.
I used to live in Coventry in the late 90s, right? From 97 to 2001. And in those days, Coventry City, were in the Premier League. So obviously getting tickets was easy, right? Because I got to see people like Arsenal double winning. When Nelk was playing, I got to see, Bex and all these guys, yeah? All the big games, right? And then in my final year, they got relegated.
They got relegated. 2000.
They got relegated in 2001. They got relegated, and it's like I've been back a few times since, and it's not the same. And obviously they've gone through stuff now. Now the stadium is now the Ricoh Arena, which is like the other side of town, edge of town, where Highfield is pretty much bang in the centre ish. So yeah, it does really do see with these small cities. You do see what Premier League status really does affect it. But yeah, it's great.
It makes a big difference.
It makes a very big difference. And also another thing you find. When it comes to universities, the university towns, when it's I don't know if I told you, but when it comes to attracting foreign students, I've got the foreign because they don't really know the geography of the UK, but they'll know.
How far is it from London?
They'll know if the city's got a Premier League team, then you're going to get an influx. Everyone knows where Leicester is now. Everyone knows where Manchester is. Everyone knows where Liverpool is. But they don't necessarily know where Bristol is. They don't necessarily know where, Portsmouth. Maybe Portsmouth. You know what I mean? Those kind of things. So it's very much even Brighton, these universities. So from the university sector, it's actually quite an important thing, really. No joke.
Yeah, I've got to say, it made a huge difference when I lived in Watford to the whole vibe of the place. We may be seeing a team from North London in the Championship next week, and we'll have to see how that might affect the Tottenham area.
Well, are we talking Barnet?
Yeah, the Tottenham area can get any worse than it is. Sorry to Tottenham residents. Then they're in for a ride. We'll get onto that later because I have been shocked by developments this week in the league and how that's all unraveling for them. And quite frankly, it's always good to be able to look at a team, a club in a worse situation than yours. That's just the fact of the matter.
Spurs are always that club.
They're always that club, that's true. But two matches in 3 days. When we were speaking last time, Mr. Samuj, we were ruminating over what selections the manager may make. One thing we did agree on was Andy Robertson starting.
Yes, absolutely.
And gotta say, that was a fantastic decision from the manager, wasn't it? I mean, talk about his performance.
Yeah, Andy Robertson. He had one of those games. It's interesting. He'd just done a BBC podcast that came out on the Friday morning, I think, and they'd asked him about his playing time and all this kind of thing. So it's clearly at the forefront of his mind. But no, he played really well. He came in, he played really well, really held up his own defensively and offensively. And I'm sure we'll get into the goals second half, because I mean, first half was like the first half on Tuesday. Bit boring, not too many chances. But no, Robertson again, just... I always come back to this thing. If you remember during the height of Salahgate, and remember when I was saying, look, be professionally upset, and like, look, you're upset you're not starting, but when you do start, when you do get games, even if it's a cup game, even if it's you come on in the 70th minute, always exude that professionalism. And I think Andy Robertson really, really shows all of that. You know, failed move to Atletico in the summer, failed move to Spurs, which by God's grace has actually helped him. All of these things happen, and he's just always ready. He's always ready to go, whether start a game, come on in the 70th minute. So no, absolutely great performance from Robbo.
Talking about dodging the bullet, mate.
Even when you said that out loud, it just took me back to when I heard that news. I was thinking, is his agent trying to sabotage his career, his life?
Trent's brother, by the way.
Which is Trent's brother, but less said.
Wow, yeah. Come on, let's avoid Trent for once. I know Trent feeling is strong on this pod, particularly when you're here, Sam. But come on, let's swerve that one. So Wolves. The problem with Wolves, right, is they wouldn't have been used. Well, for them, they wouldn't have been used to a situation where they're playing 2 games back to back in a short space of time. As a club, right, as an institution, Liverpool, we do this. We do a lot of games in a short space of time at the sharp end of the season, or at Christmas time, whatever it is. They wouldn't have had that, and I think that was a big disadvantage for them. Do you think? How do you think they coped against us overall? Because actually, up until when we scored in the 50th minute, they seemed to be doing okay. From a Wolves perspective, what would you say? Double S. They would
from Wolves perspective, I would say I don't think it's the fact that we've had 2 games in close succession, because it's like if you play in the Premier League, that's standard. They like, especially over the Christmas period, they're used to that. I won't give them that out. But what I would say is that they expended a lot of physical and emotional energy to get that win against us the other day on Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever it was. So that takes a lot of time, because for them, just getting those people meant so much in the manner they did it. So therefore, to raise themselves up again to that, I don't think it was ever going to happen for them, really. Try as they did.
I think we're kind of saying the same thing there, because my point is, there's a lot of mental and physical exertion from playing 2 games back to back in a short space of time. I think we're almost saying the same thing.
Okay, I'll take that. But yeah, so with that, I kind of thought that if they probably had scored in the first half, that could have carried them through. But without that, I think once we scored, that for the first time this season, I thought once we scored, yeah, we've got this. Because I knew they'd probably still score a goal against us, but I kind of always felt that we would have that. And I think also they just weren't pressing us. They just. I think they were almost saying, "Try break us down." And Liverpool, okay, fine, we will do that then. Do you know what I mean? They didn't really try anything. You know, they were
worn down, weren't they?
I think they were worn down. I think they. I could see that. I think a lot of these managers, I think, like, you know, with Liverpool, you just suffer for the first half and see what you can get on, because towards the end they'll try to lose concentration, and that's how. Because that's why every manager must realise that, you know what. From 90 minutes, from about 85 minutes onwards, Liverpool are there for the taking. Liverpool will give you an opportunity to score a goal, and I think that's probably their game plan. But I think if you get to 80 minutes and you're 2 goals down, 3 goals down, then you're pretty much toast against Liverpool, which is not great for us, but it is what it is for them.
Yeah. Shout out to our peeps joining us live on YouTube. Glad to have you here. Make sure you drop us a comment. Let us know your thoughts on the game. And it was Liverpool who were triumphant 3-1 at Wolves after going down 2-1 in the week in the league. One thing that I said double S last time, I'm going to come back to you again, twice in quick succession, was if you gave me the choice of the two games to lose one and win one, I would take the FA Cup as a victory. I said that because I believe that we're going to come out on top in the league, as in we will have a top 5 spot. I didn't think there's any consequence for us, dropping points, as irritating as it was. Easy to say in hindsight because since then the teams around us have dropped points. Do you, going into this game and into this FA Cup match, were you kind of sharing that view, or did your mind change at all on that?
For me, I just wanted to win both. There was no. Also, I know you did too.
I gave you Hobson's choice.
And I gave you Hobson's choice, and I said nah. So, so all I'm saying is, for me, is a case of like, at this stage of the season, considering what we've been through, we have to win as many games as possible. I'm not expecting miracles, right? I mean, I'd love us to win a cup double, fair enough. But it's, in reality, as a fan in me, I'll say, yeah, but reality, I don't think it's going to happen. But just go as far as we can, really, and just show some pride. Show us something. Show us that, there's still life in this team yet, which I do believe there is. And the idea of losing 2 games in a week to Wolves would just be,
That's what I was scared of. That's what I was dreading.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it didn't happen. Is that something you're right about, Sam?
I didn't like we're saying, I hadn't really calculated that we would drop points at Wolves in the league, so it wasn't really
none of us did. You can see our faces that night. We're like,
what
this wasn't anticipated. What the hell?
But no, I think it would have been we would have been back in the hysteria around slot out. The hysteria would have been end of November levels of, right, what is going on here? Once you're at the FA Cup, it then just becomes a ticking time bomb until the Champions League goes wrong in that sense. And if they lost more confidence, then it would have been a disaster. But I agree. And I think what helped is, okay, cool. Yeah, we lost on Tuesday. What helped is United lost and Villa lost. Obviously, Chelsea got points. So someone had to get points in that game. So that's fine. But it's not as if everyone gained on us. It's not as if Villa and Chelsea drew and United won. So it's one of those. I agree. I think over the course of the next 9 Premier League games, I think we'll have enough to finish in the top 5. As I keep saying, whether it's 3rd or 5th, to me, it doesn't matter at this point because it's still a disappointment at this point. And we play all 3 of them. So it is still in our hands. It is still in our hands.
Do you think...
If we're losing to Villa in April, then maybe I'm a bit... Yeah.
Samaj, question. Do you think... Sorry if I can ask the question. Do you think... our Champions League run might affect our league form negatively?
My heart says not really, because I think, as Drew was saying, we are now in that rhythm of playing, knowing how often we're playing better in the Champions League. And I think the fixtures aren't too difficult, but again, we said this in October, November. We've not got to play Arsenal or City again. And though that Chelsea, Villa, United run is in May, so actually the next month and a half between now and the end of April, we're playing middle of the table clubs, which we should. Yeah, we've got a visit to Hill Dickinson, but apart from that, we should be able to cope even with Champions League in the midweeks. We should.
I had to think, what's Hill Dickinson now?
Yeah.
It's such a rubbish stadium name, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, bro. It's one of the legends, bro. Respect.
Respect, man, respect.
Or maybe their founder, but it's somebody. That's come on, at least respect the club, in that regard. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, he qualifies it in that regard.
Yeah.
It was Wolves 1, it was Liverpool 3 in the FA Cup. Shout out to everyone watching us live on YouTube. You are welcome. Make sure you drop us a comment, let us know how you feel about what happened this week overall, and particularly in this game just gone. We'll also be discussing Ryan Gravenberch's new contract. Very welcome news to come through at the end of the week. And we'll be taking a look-see at Tottenham, because we just nosy like that. What the hell? How the hell? Well, what's happening next? And keen to get people's thoughts on the FA Cup draw. Right. So, guys, here's a fun fact for you. Wolves is known as the first city in the UK, or first town in the UK, to have automated traffic lights. Did you guys know that? Yeah, so it is famous for something.
Really?
As much stick as Double S was giving it, there is something that you can kind of attach some meaning to behind Wolves and some credibility to. But there was no stopping the Reds as they steamrolled Rob Edwards' side 3-1. I want to go through the goals in sequential order. So, first up, Andy Robertson on 51 minutes. I mean, we often look at players like Robertson and think, why don't you get more goals? And that execution of that strike, hard and low into the corner, that was a sublime hit. Double S, why doesn't he do it more?
Well, he has to play more first and foremost. That's the first thing. Secondly, he's never really. Thing is, as a fullback, even in a heyday, he used to get himself in such great positions. Yeah, all the time. He always cut inside. He timed his run perfectly. If he could finish, he would be Roberto Carlos levels. No joke, because in Premier League level, do you mean, right? Because he's like, he's got...
Double S, you do understand I've got the power to clip things up.
Clip it. Let's be honest, Roberto Carlos, defensively, was not that great. Fact. He wasn't that great defensively, but he didn't have to because he played in great teams.
Of course, yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying, right? Don't
we always do that? We pick a player with a sublime skill set. And we use the fact that they're outstanding in one aspect of their game to decry their abilities in another.
Well, no, because I'm mid-analysis.
Continue. I'll mute myself.
So the point I'm trying to make is, of course, he's a fantastic player. Of course, he had great ability. But what I'm saying, when we look back at players, with modern players, we criticize every bit of their game, right? But when we look at the legend, we look at their highlight reels. We don't look at the. I'm old enough to remember the day. I remember his last 3 seasons at Real Madrid. He was getting ripped by the Madristas because of his defensive. I remember they went to Bayern Munich and they got ripped. I think this must have been about 06, 07. They got smashed, right, in the Champions League, and they got knocked out. And he was, I think that was his last season. They thought, enough now. The point I'm trying to make is that that was my defensive trend, because people like Trent is similar in terms of, like, on the ball is great, but defensively is bad. But the point I'm trying to make with Robertson, defensively he's been brilliant, and he's got the technical ability going forward as well. So that's the point I'm trying to make. I'm not saying who's the better player, but I'm talking about in terms of stature and what you bring to the game from that position. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And I love to play devil's advocate on this podcast.
Yeah, of course.
Talking of stature and talking of Trent, Mr. Summage, how much do you love Trent Alexander-Arnold? I'm joking. I'll give you an opportunity to shower more praise on Andy Robertson, because actually I thought throughout the game that he was superb. Talk to me about his overall contribution and what you think he brought.
Yeah, I think what actually helped is, like I said, both ends of the pitch. So offensively, he was able to keep up a consistent threat, because Rio and Gamora on the left played really well, had a great game. He was actually basically our main attacking threat, but what helps is when you've got the wing back is also that far up, it gives the defense something to think about. It means they have to sit back a bit further. It means that actually they think twice if they're going to double up on the winger, because he can just offload it on the overlap, or if Robertson's on the inside. So offensively, really good. Defensively, we broadly, actually, again, almost like Tuesday, we kind of nullified their threat, to be honest. We nullified their threat for most of the game, and a lot of that was definitely down that side with Robertson. So, yeah, like we've said, he always finds himself in those positions. I think, like he said, whenever he takes those shots, they never go in. I can only really think of, there was an Aston Villa game once where he scored quite late coming in on the far post. But apart from that, Robertson, yeah, he's always spooning it or is going over the bar. So,
I remember that Aston Villa game. Aston Villa, was it Crystal Palace?
I think it was Aston Villa. Villa away. Yeah.
Aston Villa away.
So he finds himself in those positions, and I'm glad. I think, again, we're leaping lots of plaudits on him rightly, because it was a really good performance for someone who's not playing regularly, and especially the context of the team we put out, I think it was 4 or 5 changes, kind of like what we'd expected, and also what happened on Tuesday. So for him to just come in and have that kind of performance, it definitely deserved man of the match.
Shout out Squidly on the chat. Big up to you, and big up to Jez, who couldn't join us this morning, but says that her 7-year-old loves my Wolverhampton fact. For you, those who just joined, I'll replay it. I'm proud of it too. That is the home in the UK of the automated traffic light. So if you ever go to Wolves, next time you have a traffic light, just take a pause and think to yourself, you're in the throes of history. Okay, so sticking with Robbo, post-match double S. Some people trying to spin his comments.
Yes, some people.
Some people that you and I know are trying to spin his comments because he was asked a direct question about how he felt about his status in the team, the fact that he's had to scrap for minutes, and he answered the question directly. He wouldn't be happy about sitting on the bench.
Exactly.
I thought it was quite a professional response. I have to get the exact quotes, but what did you take anything from what he said as like a disrespect?
When I took it out, I just thought to myself, do you know what? I know he's not captain, but he spoke like a true leader. Of course,
and he always does. Yeah,
exactly. Of course, he has his own personal beef. I would too, right? But he didn't make it about himself. He was talking about, do you know what? I think he said that he doesn't need to prove himself in a Liverpool shirt in regards to, with respect to his passion and commitment and devotion to the team. He also then went on to say, I'm in my mid-30s, right? And so obviously a new generation going to come through and we got to help them play, blah, blah, blah. So that shows a willingness of other players who have spoken out about their lack of game time. They never added that whole, we've got to bring in the youth, father time captain, everyone. They never had that kind of philosophical circumspect kind of thing, right? So that is what I thought, you know what? This guy's a true leader,
Yeah, I thought so too. I'm glad you qualified exactly what he said. And if you ask a direct question, you're gonna answer it directly. There was no disrespect in that whatsoever. I didn't take it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We got Jez in the chat. Jez is the cheerleader of the Cody Gakpo Appreciation Society. And were she on the pod, I would challenge her to explain to me why that is the case, or why Gakpo, on Friday has such a great game. I thought he was central to so much that we did well. He seemed to occupy like this weird position when I'm looking at his goal involvements anyway, in the centre of the pitch where he's driving forward as opposed to being quite wide. And that's probably because Rio came in. Mr. Savage, what did you think of his performance? Were you as enthused as I was?
Not as I don't know if I would have put the word great, but it was a good performance. It was a good performance.
I've gone over the top. Okay.
Just a bit, but it's all right. I think we've got a bit of a quandary with Gakpo because I think it's clear that he naturally wants to be a centre forward. He was a centre forward at PSV. When he had the great World Cup campaign, the Qatar one with Netherlands, he was centre forward there as well. So I think he's the kind of player who naturally wants to play centre forward so that he's always right in front of goal. Hence why when he's on the left, he's always cutting in. That's not to be part of the defence of his fan club, but that's kind of an explanation. So I think that he likes being at the spear of the attack. He likes being able to either run onto things or be able to play things off and also get his shot off a bit more centrally. So I think, he actually enjoyed that role and he played really well in that role in that sense of certainly compared to what we've been seeing over the last maybe 2 months from him as a winger. So I think it was maybe also a chance for him to have a bit of fresh. Sometimes you just go in, oh right, I'm doing something different today. You're going to be a little bit more enthused about it. You're going to be a bit more excited about it. And also the stakes were relatively lower in the sense of, we have the firepower on the bench if need be. But, I'm sure he's aware of the criticism he's been getting, just like the players have. So it happens. And I think that, he played with someone who had felt like the weight was lifted off his shoulder a bit, I think.
Okay, Jez says she's going to explain her Gakpo beef next pod, as if she doesn't do it every pod.
We
need to show Gakpo some love. I thought he was a constant thorn in their side. Lots of threat, and he was driving, trying to make things happen. A good. Let's say 8 out of 10. Can we agree on that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, 7.5. Miss
7.5, and we call it quits there.
All right, let's shake hands on that. All right, so let's go back to Andy Robbo, guys, because Mo Salah, like a minute and a half after Robbo's goal, gets in on the action, and Robbo involved again. Gakpo initially driving through midfield, sprays it out to, I think, Angamoa, who releases Robertson on the wing, cross into the box, pinpoint, and rifled into the roof of the net by Salah. That goal, in ordinary times, as in pre-fifth round, would have been ruled offside because the referee blew. And fortunately for us, from the fifth round onwards, they do implement VAR. First of all, let's come on to VAR in a second. But first of all, talk to me about that goal, Double S, because to me that was my favourite. Because
it was. It wasn't even the goal, of course, build up, but because it's just so hot on the heels of the second goal. Because so far this season, whenever we scored a goal, we almost sat back and left ourselves open. And do you know what I mean? It's just kind of annoying. But to actually quick fire, bang bang, that was like the clock day, bang bang, like just kill the game. And it was just after half time. I'm thinking, this is what I'm used to. This is what I came to see. So that whole kind of feeling and they're scoring straight after, and just like. It was just like poetry in motion. I just loved it really, and it wasn't like the best goal I've ever seen, but the pass and the confidence, that kind of thing. And Salah at the end of it was also brilliant as well. And at which point I was kind of hoping for more, which we did, but it took a while. Do you see what I'm saying? I did initially think it was offside anyway, like even before the flag went, and then when it I kind of feel that had he gone straight back to centre, we could have got again. But I think that delay maybe I'm making excuses for the team, I don't know, but it kind of took the energy out of it. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like you could see that there was something building, and we seem to be like a team that we kind of like an emotional team. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's very much
we need positive news.
Yeah,
positive flow of the game state.
Yeah, just what I'm saying. So I think that kind of shook us a little bit, and it took us a while to get back the third goal. But yeah, the goal overall, because it's 2 days ago, I can't remember exactly who passed to who, but it was Robert with a cross, right?
Robert
the first time cross, and that's what I can't believe we're going to send it to Spurs. I can't believe it,
mate. I can't believe his agent was going to send him Spurs.
Yeah,
if I'll be honest,
we need this. But having said that. And even Robbo in his post-match gave shout out to Milos Kerkez. Said Milos Kerkez has been amazing, and he's come on leaps and bounds from when he started and stuff like that. So yeah, maybe Kerkez can do that too. But can I just say one more thing though? Also, Frimpong, he's proving himself to be quite the asset.
You sound surprised.
I didn't know what to expect from him. To be fair, I didn't know what to expect because like when he started, he was a bit. You could see he got paid. You could see he's got some, but he just didn't seem to have like a footballing brain, if you know what I mean. I don't.
But people say that about Kerkez, haven't they? You know, ultimately,
I was more worried about Kerkez, to be fair. Yeah. I was worried about
because of the price tag or what?
No, just everything. Because his first 4 or 5 games, bro, it was mad. It was mental.
he was quite Moreno-esque, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was mental. I was like, what's going on? Do you know what I mean? And it got to the point where he had to get subbed before half time, and no one even said anything because it was like, yeah, you can't be getting subbed.
Yeah, as good as Robertson is, he said it himself. He's in his 30s. He's not going to be playing 2-3 games a week. You know, the toll that takes on him. We saw his performances last season. Whilst we were ultimately successful, his performance has waned. And you need younger legs. You need that new generation to come through. And he's going to need to play through the pain. And when I say the pain, Kerkez, I mean the pain of adjusting to new settings, to a different level of pressure to what he's used to. And ultimately to the scrutiny. You know, that is something is like unquantifiable, where you don't know for a 22-year-old how much impact that might have. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's fairly significant. So I remain very optimistic and positive about Kerkez, and I'm very comfortable with this idea of semi-rotation between him and Robertson. Like if you gave me like an FA Cup final tomorrow, I would say I'd be completely happy for Andy Robertson to start, right?
Yeah.
If you gave me like a do or die league game, I just think he needs to be exposed to, because he's going to be the guy, right? So he needs to complete his apprenticeship so that he can do the job. I want to move on to Mo Salah again, because we love our Mo Salah segment on this pod. Mr. Savage, I'm not even going to ask a question. I'm just going to say Mo Salah on Friday, discuss.
You see, the thing with Mo Salah, he's always breaking records. What I really love, Mo Salah has now scored more goals for Liverpool than anyone has scored for Manchester United.
Come on, say it again, please.
Mo Salah has scored more goals for Liverpool than anyone has scored for Man United. He scored his 254th for Liverpool on Friday. Rooney finished his career with 253. So, you know, I just think this is... And
you mean to tell me... Can I stop you there? So you mean to tell me Mo Salah has 2 Manchester United records? So he's got more goals than any other Man United player, and he's got, I think, pretty much more goals than any other Man United player. Old Trafford,
and he did it in less seasons.
He did it in much less time. Yeah. And I think this is the thing. Like you say, look, we've got a Mo Salah segment, and like I say, when you say his name, and I think this is the dichotomy of Mo Salah is like we're always comparing Mo Salah to Mo Salah's standards, but really he's got 1 and 2 goals and assists this season. I believe it's 16-31, whatever it is, but it's 1 and 2.
Some people call that Saka levels.
Some people get 350k extensions and captain's armbands.
Who said that Mo Salah's levels dropped and now he's at Saka levels? Who said that?
I think a wise man. I can't remember his name. I know he's very wise.
But I think this is the thing of like, his league form hasn't been there. And the person that will be the most upset about that is Mo Salah. We see how competitive he is. We see how passionate he is. And sometimes it gets too much, but it is passion and his drive, which is what has sustained him at the top level for 8-9 years. That is just almost unprecedented in the Premier League, which is why he's basically smashing all the Premier League records. So I'm glad he got the goal. I'm glad hopefully it will rejuvenate him a bit for this last quarter of the season as we go into crunch time with, look, 9 games after the season. We need to win 6 of them at least. At least we need to win 6 of them. We've got Champions League. We can't be going out to Galatasary in the first knockout round. We'll see how the draw opens up after that, whether it's PSG, Chelsea, etc. But this is an opportunity for this team. You know, the question earlier whether it would derail our league form, I think it would complement our league form because a lot of these players, we've been quite good in the Champions League. Yeah, the PSV game, again, was in the hysteria period and Galatasaray away, but we won all our other games. We finished 4th in the table. So I think it's an opportunity, comfortably as well. We weren't actually struggling. So I think it's an opportunity for these players to really think, you know what, if we can use the momentum of the Champions League into the league games, then it doesn't become a hindrance. And then, yeah, maybe you rotate 2 or 3 players.
We still got FA Cup. We still get FA Cup as well.
We've got FA Cup as well. Let's see how the draw goes. Exactly that. So I think that from where we were again in that November-December period to essentially mid-March, we've got Champions League first round knockouts. We're into the quarterfinals of the FA Cup, and we have a very, very good chance. I think Opta still have us at about 54% chance of finishing in the top 5. We're going to salvage, there's a chance to salvage a really, a good season. Just really quickly, I read another stat that this is only the 6th time Liverpool have reached the quarterfinals in the last 30 years. So, we shouldn't necessarily take this for granted. Yes, in 30 years. But all those 6 times, we've always had a pretty good run. We've either got to a final or a tough semi-final against one of the other big 6. So we also shouldn't take for granted that, we're still competing for 2 trophies.
I'm trying to think of the 6. Okay. Last 30 years.
Right? I should have given this as homework before.
No. So last 30 years. Okay, last 30. So 1996 when we got to the final.
Yeah, basically since then, yeah. 2001.
2001. Yeah. 2006.
Yeah. There was the Chelsea one we lost. Checkmate.
2012.
Which one is the Andy Carroll year?
Yeah, that one. 2012. Yeah. The head up. Yeah.
2012. 2015. Knocked out semi-final Villa. Jack Grealish.
Yes. Yeah.
And then there would have been.
And Klopp only did it twice.
2022, and then when we got beat by Man United in 2024.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got it. Thank you. I had to get it.
Well done, bless you. You won your own quiz.
Yeah. But it's symbolic.
I can tell what kind of person you're like at work.
There you go.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, we can't take it for granted. And any opportunity to win the FA Cup oldest trophy, and put it this way, we're always thinking, oh, look, City win so many trophies. But like, not a lot of teams win a lot of trophies regularly. So it's a chance to win a trophy in the FA Cup. It's a chance to go far in the Champions League and maintain our position for the top 5.
A passionate defence around the positivity that we should uphold for the remainder of the season. I'm in the same place. Now, had we lost the game, I'll be down the dumps and telling you that the world's going to end. But Liverpool are through to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. Now, just to come back to the Mo Salah incident, let's get a quick vote on use of VAR, which comes into play in the 5th round onwards, which is why the goal stood. Okay. On the one hand, I want Liverpool to get what's due to them. I want justice, right? On the other hand, I don't like this whole waiting around for decisions to be made and you're not quite sure whether you can celebrate the goal and it's just a bit stop-starty emotionally, right? Do you guys think that VAR should be scrapped for the entirety of the FA Cup to level it out? I'm going to go first and say yes, they should just get rid of it. Double S.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting because it's like all those people who are anti-VAR, it'll be good to have a competition so they can be happy. So they can say, oh, the good old, and then they can see what it is. And I think maybe the whole VAR, not VAR, that would be a good advert to realize, do you know what, actually, because obviously eventually someone's going to get effed over by not having VAR. And then they realize, okay, do you know what, VAR may not be great, but that kind of thing will happen. So I think it'll be a good balance actually for everybody. Yeah. So yes, that's my long-winded answer.
Yeah, and since you give me a long-winded answer, I'm going to come back in with more. I think it's it's a positive thing, right, for the game to just flow and for emotions to flow and to people to respond and not hold their breath. We saw the Chelsea game on Saturday. That wasn't great, but you know, I always say it's application of, and if they can get the application right, and they haven't managed to, but if they can do that, then it's a better place to be. But I just think because they can't have it for every round, it just makes it more of a fair thing not to have it at all. Sorry, Sam, over to you.
Yeah, I think it's a governance thing of so a team like Wrexham were at a disadvantage of it because they got to this point. But in the previous round, they may have gained an advantage. I think that inconsistency, like we're saying, it's a bit, I think maybe semi-finals and final you have it in because those are all neutral. They have the semi-finals at Wembley, so it's technically neutral. But I don't like the idea of essentially, depending on what round, you're either going to benefit or you're not. And I think that unless you're doing goal line technology from the 3rd round for every stadium, then you can't. It's uneasy with me that you have a bit of an inconsistency because the argument in the first couple rounds is they can't necessarily have it in every stadium, whereas for the 6th round they can, because basically they know that it's going to be majority Premier League stadiums and they've only got maybe 2 or 3 they need to fit it in. I'm not sure about that, so I would maybe go halfway and say no VAR until semi-finals and final because it's neutral, so therefore it's not as if you were able to put it in Wrexham's ground for the 6th round, but you weren't for the 5th round, whereas it's Wembley, it's there. And also, I think it would be pretty controversial if we had really bad decisions in the semi-final and final and, what that could entail as well.
Okay, so, Jay, you were trying to come in there.
I was going to say, obviously, somebody makes a good point about governance and the consistency of said governance. The only the thing is, how do it, because in some rounds, you don't have extra time, you go straight to penalties. But in the semi-final final, I think from quarterfinals onwards, you do have extra time and penalties. So therefore, it's like, if we're going to even up, then we should do even up in that regard too. Do you see what I'm saying?
I agree, because I thought that it was still going straight to penalties. It wasn't until the Wrexham game when it went to extra time. I agree. Again, got to be consistent throughout. Fully agree. Fully agree on that one as well. Yeah.
One thing I'm glad of is no flipping replays.
Yeah, I think
those are dark times.
You
Although
say
I love
that. You say that.
Everton
But,
one back in the day.
the point I'm trying to make is that we've had some classic FA Cup games due to replays.
yeah, but time moves on. They used to have the final used to go to replay 3 days later. Like, it's okay to leave something. The competition's nearly 150 years old. It can't be what it was in 1830.
No. I'm not saying we shouldn't. I'm not saying anti-progress. I'm just saying that if we didn't have it, we were deprived. Ricky Villa goal would have been deprived of that.
Yeah,
That's
but
what I'm saying,
that's Jay. That's in the past. I've had some great times watching Carry On
everything
films.
is in the past.
Yeah.
The match reviewing is in the past. You see what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
The point I'm trying to make is that the point I'm trying to make is that we and also let's I think a couple of pods ago we talked about that game against Portsmouth in the semi-final, John Barnes, right? That got taken to replay. Had he gone to penalty, we could have lost that.
Yeah,
I think you've got to let replays go, my friends. You've got to let that one go.
Well, I had no choice. It's gone.
Yeah.
It's taken away from me.
It's true. Yeah.
All right, guys. So on 73 minutes, Curtis Jones applies the finishing blow to Wolves effectively to put the game to bed. Another rifled goal from outside the box. Lovely interchange with, I think it was Gravenberch on the right-hand side. Finds space on the edge of the box. Unleashes. Again, where the hell's this side of Curtis Jones been? Why don't we see this more often? Because I always say, good as he is, his goal and assist output ain't anything to write home about. So, Mr. Samage, why do we not see that more? Why has it just happened in the FA Cup? Because he did it against Brighton as well, didn't he?
Yeah, I think it's the Curtis Jones enigma, which we're the kind of club where we're overly critical on our youngsters as they progress, whereas actually his progression and the progression of his game has been more into a possession base. But on the flip, then people are like, oh, he holds the ball too long, but it's a bit of a catch-22. I think he doesn't find himself in those positions enough, and I think that he plays more of a 6 than either an 8 or a 10, so he's not actually usually finding himself in those positions, but he also needs the games, right? So he needs to be playing. So when he's playing, there's a bit of confidence. The game's going away from Wolves a bit, so they're pressing, but not as strongly, and it's a chance for him to show off his skills. It was a nice build-up, and it opened up for him. So on his left foot as well, really impressive. So it opened up for him on his left foot, and I think he was like, you know what? He's another one of those where it's like, you know what? Fine. I think it's really clear him and Slot have had a falling out. Because he went from, okay, he's starting to actually, right, you're just on the bench now. So I think he's using it as an opportunity to say, do you know what, fine, I'm going to lick my wounds. I'm going to play in the FA Cup. I'm going to show what I can do. When you bring me on, I'm going to try my best. And sometimes it doesn't work to his advantage. You know, the other game where he only found out 5 minutes before because Wirtz was injured. But he's always going to try. And I think I find it hard to criticize players who are always going to try. Give me your best effort. Whether it's an Endo, a Millie, whoever, if you give me your best effort to the best of your abilities, you're not going to get a complaint from me. So I think Curtis Jones uses this as an opportunity to show what he can do because he's able to play with a bit more freedom. The team sheet comes out and we're thinking, is it him at right back? But obviously it was Subside right back. So again, he's able to play in a bit more of a comfortable position that he's used to. And I think that he's able to then play out in a way that is more comfortable for him. And when he does that, when he's comfortable, the goals start to come, the link-up play and the assists start to come. But I think with him, a lot of it is a mentality and the confidence thing with him. He's got the ability. 100%. He's got, Curtis Jones has got the ability.
We've been saying it for ages.
We've been saying it for ages, exactly.
But I think I hear what you're saying about he's always trying and stuff. But do you know what? That's like turning up for work. Yeah, it's the gift you expect it.
Not everyone has been. Not everyone
has been, but it's like when you go to work, not everyone does their best, but you do your best. You can't. It's what it is, right?
That's a fair point.
There's that. Secondly, you're saying about you can't criticize a player who tries his best. Darwin Núñez tried his best.
I've never criticized Darwin Núñez.
I'm not saying you, but I'm just saying.
Well, you should have.
You should have.
No, we missed Núñez. I said it early on, and I stand by it. We missed Núñez.
Moreno tried his best.
Nah, yeah, but
Lucas Leiva tried his best.
Yeah, Lucas Leiva did. Yes.
Yeah.
Was that good enough?
Andy Carroll tried his best. Anyway, moving on for that. But the crux of the matter, the crux of what I'm trying to make though, is that Curtis Jones, I believe he's like, you know how there used to be a term called a homer, those kind of players that only do it at home, right? He's the kind of player.
Please say that clearly.
Homer,
Thank you.
as in Odyssey, Homer, right? Yeah, you're such a joker. Anyway, right? So he's the kind of person that does it when the pressure's off. You know,
Yeah,
and I think yesterday's game there wasn't really much. But if we went out, we went out. Like,
well.
yeah. So it's like typically he'll get the third goal.
Yeah.
You know, that's typical of his career, and I know he can do more. You know, yeah, he may.
Such a great point.
So,
I was saying it's such a great point. You know, the great players or the very good players, you define their greatness or their effectiveness by what they deliver in the crucial moments.
Exactly.
Curtis Jones does not deliver in crucial moments.
And
that's a great way of putting it.
Exactly.
He's a third goal. He's the icing on the cake.
Exactly.
Type
And
player.
the thing is, I would never criticize a player for not doing what they're not able to do. But I will criticize a player for not doing what I know and I've seen that they can do. And I think he's in that category.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm getting a big insight into what you guys are like at work. Double S is a very hard taskmaster. If you're not delivering, you're out on your ear. Mr. Sandwich is going to give you 3 or 4 chances, and he'll always highlight the good in you. So pick your poison, guys. We're live on YouTube. Make sure you drop a comment in the chat. Hit that subscribe button because you know when we go live, and we go live pretty much after every game on the day. It's a bit of a change this week, given the kickoff. The match was on a Friday. But we're here for post-match reaction each and every single pod. You can follow us on Spotify. You can follow us on Apple. You can follow us on TuneIn, Amazon. Hit the subscribe button, all those, and hit the 5 stars to give us a rating. That really helps the algorithm. Right, all that to one side. It's not a Liverpool victory without a tinge of disappointment nowadays, is it? You know, gets a 92nd minute, and let's say a defensive lapse from our hero of the season, Dominic Szoboszlai, lets the ball drop. Doesn't deal with the danger, and Hwang, I think it is, who applies the finishing touch. A player I really like, but surprisingly, when I look at his stats, he's only got like 3 or 4 goal involvements this season. Particularly surprisingly, as he starts most matches, but he is in a struggling team.
Yeah.
Talk to me about Sam, Dominic Szoboszlai in that moment. Could he have done more?
Yeah, like you said, it's a lapse of concentration, and I think it sums up our defense this season. There's only a few games where we've been overawed, like, you know, hands up, City away, you know, some of these games. A lot of goals we've conceded this season have been, what's it called, unforced errors, where it's like, okay, maybe we should have done better. Even Tuesday night, we're talking about Curtis Jones, you know, the pass from Curtis Jones, Alisson, Gomez, a lot of them are self-enforced. So again, it happened again. I think it's always when you're just like, right, okay, 3-0 win. Let's grab this. We're going away to Istanbul. That's going to be difficult, but we've gotten through this test. And yeah, he lets it drop over his head. It's a bit frustrating, but I think it does sum up a lot of our defensive capabilities this season. Of just like we're just not fully concentrating on the back. The flip side of that is, Dominic Szoboszlai, he's not a natural right back. But he keeps finding himself in these positions where he's the last man. Even City at home and the whole debacle around the Haaland foul. Yeah, it is frustrating, but I think I've kind of given up on any chance of us getting a solid defensive shape this year. Like this season, of all the things that's in the bin, I think us getting a defensive shape is in the bin. I'm no longer counting on clean sheets. I'm no longer selecting Liverpool defenders in my fantasy football because it's like, we're not going to get the clean sheet. So like, hopefully Van Dijk scores, but defensively,
well, if Trent was still here, you could select him as defender. You'd get you some points.
Because he'd get me assists, exactly. But, you know, I think we're not, you know, it's one of those where even Alisson, he's still miles the best keeper in the league, but there's only so much you can do when those in front of you are just not at 100%. At this level, being at 95%, even against a team bottom of the league, that is the difference between conceding. And that is, like I said on the pod on Tuesday, that's what flips it from a 50-50 to a 55-45. Oh, that deflection is the one that then tilts their way because of that lapse. So I think it sums us up this season.
You were just saying about goalkeepers, just to bring, just do. Did any of you see the Edwin Van Sar interview?
Yeah, he was confused. I think he was on the source. He
rated
Onana as world class. Are you
Yeah,
talking about that?
And is David Raya not world class?
He said Raya not world class. Onana world. I was just like, yeah. Do you know what?
No, he didn't rate Oblak as world class.
He did. The only thing I agreed with him is he qualified and said Martinez what Argentina is, because Martinez at Villa is not. Yeah. He absolutely is not.
No, but all of that pales into significance when you start with David
Raya and yeah,
that's terrible.
Look, Raya. There's a discussion, right? He's a very good player. It doesn't mean he's world class, but the idea that Arne is.
Exactly.
But then to send on, exactly. So what's your measure?
And he didn't even hesitate. He said,
yeah.
He
didn't check himself. I reckon Arne is part of the show up to work crew. That's hashtag. Yeah. Shout out to A-Cads. He says, big up to the just show up to work crew every time. I wonder which kind of boss A-Cads will prefer, Sam or Double S. So that's the match. Let's move on. Unless you guys have got anything more to say on that, I don't.
The draw's not till Monday, so we can just speculate. But we've still got Liverpool, Chelsea, City, and Arsenal already through. So there's still some big hitters in the quarterfinals. I would like to just make it as easy for us if we can get the winner of, I think it's
Mr. Sandwich. Mr. Sandwich, we'll come to it.
Oh, we'll come to it. Oh, sorry. I got ahead of myself. Sorry.
We need to give a build up because I've just remembered one thing we didn't discuss enough.
Yeah,
which was the impact of Rio Ngamoa. I thought we kind of glossed over that a little bit. Sam, should he be starting now? How do you feel about him?
I had this discussion in all my groups, and when Steven Gerrard comes out and says the kid is 16.
17.
He's 17.
Sorry, I've taken
Come on,
the
he's done his A-level marks.
He's done his he's on AS now, right? Sorry,
he's got his provisional license and everything.
There you go.
Yeah, he's a big man in the game.
My thing is, do you know what? I saw something where in the year 2030 he's only going to be 21. So do we want him crocked in his mid-20s? Like, we're seeing it where I think we're managing well. Of all the things that Slot has gotten wrong this year, I think Rio Ngamoa, because the reason people are asking for him to start more, certainly before yesterday, the reason people are asking to start more is because of how poor Gakpo has been on the left wing. It wasn't immediately or necessarily that, Ngamoa is a must start because he's head and shoulders above all our other options. It's that the current options were really poor. We need to embed the kid so that he can have a long and prosperous career. I'm happy with him starting the FA Cup games. Start these games. Give him 20, 30 minutes in the Champions League and league games. And maybe he'll start 2 or 3 league games. If we've got a Champions League semi-final, and I think like a Palace at home in the end of April and then Champions League semi-final away, maybe you can start him in those games, but he should not be a regular starter. He needs to grow. He needs to build into his body. He needs to build into the physicality. And I think that, we'll see that. But this is the kind of game you want him to play so we can show that. But then you want him to get the 90 minutes in midweek for the under-23s and then get 20 minutes on the weekend for the first team.
Isn't part of the issue here, Jay, that the manager's been left shortchanged? Because last season it was like Gakpo or Diaz, and Diaz has put in several well-beaten performances for Bayern and did for us on the way to a league title. So that whole thing around we're not looking to pay him X amount of money, but then we're going to leave you with this 17-year-old. It's not left the manager in a great position, is it?
He's not left the manager in a great position. However, I wouldn't say that our left wing has been our biggest issue this season in terms of our performances.
It hasn't. To Sam's point, people have been picking on Gakpo, right? And there's no alternative.
I understand that, but the point I'm trying to make is that if we were winning matches, people would not be picking on Gakpo. And why we're not winning matches? It's not because of Gakpo.
Not immediately.
Yeah, it's not because of Gakpo. We all know why. There's multiple reasons.
It's not about Gakpo.
There are multiple reasons why we're in this situation where our season turned to shit. And you could argue he's been outchanged, shortchanged. Two things can be true. He has been shortchanged in certain areas, fair enough. But has he got the best out of the players he had at his disposal? I would argue he hasn't.
And that's fair. Exactly. That's exactly fair.
Yeah.
And that's why for me it's not a Rio must start. It's actually what can the manager do to get more out of the senior players. Rio and Gamora he's 17. We shouldn't be relying on our attacking output from a 17-year-old. He should be supplementing.
Exactly. I don't want him to start him, and then he end up like that. You know what he did with Walcott. I don't want another Walcott situation. It's like he should be getting half an hour here, 15 minutes there. That's I think in defense of the manager, the manager's doing the right thing.
Agree.
This is very much to me reminiscent of Sterling's emergence. It's similar age, similar profile. We're relying on who was it? Stuart Downing.
Stuart Downing on the left,
and people are like, yeah, I want to see more of this kid. Now,
Ricky Lambert.
Yeah, oh please, he's triggering me with these names. I thought we could leave it at Downing. Adams. Moreno. Oh god. Okay, let's move on. Right, so Mr. Samage, it's your time. You want to talk about the next round? Let's talk about the next round. Here are the names in the hat. To your point, Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea, they're all there. We're going to see who joins. But likelihood is it's going to be, strong likelihood, let's say, it's going to be an all Premier League last 16, which is really, really exciting. Last 16?
Last 8, yeah.
Last 8. Sorry, I'm sorry. Last 8. So talk to me about your hopes for the next round if you were to choose an opponent. Who are you going for?
I think I want a home game. Let's just make it easy for ourselves, have a home game. And then I'm reticent to say Leeds. We've just not done well against Leeds this season. Whereas at least Sunderland, we were able to sneak that win at the end. So assuming that, the Premier League teams win out of Fulham, Sunderland, Leeds, you want one of them and you want it at home. I can't get too greedy. I can't get much greedier than that. Home game against any of those three, assuming they win. If none of those three win, then definitely Southampton, Port Vale or Norwich.
Personally, I would want, if Norwich beat Leeds, I'd like to play Norwich.
Yeah.
And then we get in Suarez on a 10-day contract like the NBA. Bam. Let's have it.
4-0.
There you go. From the halfway line and everything.
He owns Norwich. He owns Norwich.
No, seriously, I would really like Port Vale or Sunderland because,
yes.
I mean, Sunderland gave us issues in the league, didn't they, at Anfield? But I get your point.
True.
We want the weakest team.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think given the way things are shaping out in the Premier League and the fact that West Ham need to conserve their energy, let's say, I'd like them if they overcome Brentford.
Actually, that's
their record at Anfield is terrible.
They're despicable. Despicable. No matter what they're going through,
that's a good shout.
Aside.
They would probably rotate the most, actually, of these teams. So that's a good shout.
So the draw is going to be presented, it says here, by Darren Fletcher, Ali McCoist, and the draw is made by Joe Hart. Who's your favourite pundit out of the three, Mr. Samage?
Oh mate, of the three, I mean Joe Hart will go with. I'm getting a bit sick of Fletcher and Ali. Like we've had a lot of TNT games recently. We've got another one on Tuesday. I'm just like, you know what? Yeah, I'm all right with him. Joe Hart he's a good analyst. He actually is, to be fair.
Is he?
I've been given a choice of three, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. To be fair, when I hear him on the Monday Night Club, he's actually not bad. To be fair,
yeah, everyone's better on Monday Night Club and on the radio. When they get on TV, they're just trying to go viral. That's the issue.
No, but then to be fair, the people when they're on Monday Night Club, they've got like 2 hours to kind of actually get their point across.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're not trying to get a 40-minute clip online. You actually have a discussion. Oh, I'm a Monday Night Club geek as well. So
it's a real skill to do that whilst the match is going on. I find Joe Hart really uninspiring, even if he is insightful. I'd struggle to listen to his voice.
That's fair.
I like Alan McCoist for the vibes. I'll just put it out there.
Alan McCoist is great at the co-coms. As a pundit, not like when he's on Talk Sport, I'm not feeling him.
Oh
right?
no, I don't even.
But when he's in co-coms, I like he's back and forth with the main commentator, so he's not so bad that way.
It's the bands, it's the vibes. I'm telling
Yeah.
you. He's 10-10 for vibes.
It's like the old
Mr.
Trevor
Wood just face that's
Brooking, John Motson combo.
Yeah, that was a good combo. Yeah, back in the day.
But
Yeah,
Trevor Brooking when he's in the studio was boring.
yeah.
Yeah. He's not giving you deep insight.
Yeah.
He's not watching games in between the matches that he's been
There you
signed
go.
to. Let's put it that way. All right, guys. So a couple of things that we want to touch upon before we leave. Again, shout out to everyone watching back on Spotify, on YouTube, and on any other platform. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so we can continue to grow the channel. We thank you for your support. Ryan Gravenberch was announced as having signed a 6-year contract with Liverpool. I think that takes him to... I think that's
2032.
When's that take him to?
End of 31-32, I think.
Yeah,
I think
wow,
that's what they said. Yeah.
I mean, when you say that year out loud, I'm like, oh, I'm in the future. But,
Yeah.
it's like Star Trek. But
Do you remember? Just
Sorry,
transfer
go
it. I always do. Do you remember watching Back to the Future as a kid? And they go, "Oh, 2015 is going to be like whatever."
Right.
Yeah. And like that's like 10 years ago.
I haven't seen any hoverboards or anything like that.
Basically,
I really wanted those Nike trainers, but they never arrived.
The Marty McFly.
So, Double S, I'm going to ask you about Ryan Gravenberch. How you feel about him overall? How he's doing so far? And presumably you're delighted with his.
Absolutely. I mean, he's had that. I mean, he started the season off great, like the first 5-6 games. He was brilliant. I think away to Burnley, he was amazing, right? The way he was just flicking it over man's head and whatever. He was brilliant, right? And you can tell he's got the thing. And the thing from one of the great sights in modern football is watching him receive the ball on a half turn and just spin a man, like just by body movement, his body swerve. That to me is like brilliant. I think you must have seen the highlight clips, or whatever. I think having a proper midfield around him, like as he saw last season, couldn't get the best of him. And I think I won't go as far as to say he's the best midfielder in the country in the Premier League, but in terms of in his position for what he can do, in terms of like press resistance stuff like that, he's better than all the others. I don't want to name because I don't want to get, but you know the guys who we're talking about, the 41s, the 45s numbers. You know the guys.
I think you may need to name them.
Pardon?
I think you may need to name them.
Moises. I think in terms of on the ball, I would say he's up
sure about that one.
Okay. You're not sure. No, you're not sure, but I am.
Boom, I love that. I love that.
That's the thing. So I think I think because of his price tag, because he because he couldn't get Zubimendi, he was brought in. He hasn't. I think he's overlooked. People like McAllister, people like Dominic Bob, they get they get all the fanfare. He doesn't as much.
Yeah.
And like he's the one player that we can't really replace, you know? And like if he's not around, who can do what he does? We will struggle because there's no Endo. There's Batechik. I don't know what's going on with him. He was supposed to be that guy.
Unfortunately,
he's never going to be that guy.
He's never going to be that guy.
Yeah,
and also another thing about Gravenberch is that he's got the availability as well. He's always fit. And I just think I would like when we go this summertime, when we go into trial, we need to get someone to back him up because I think we can't just go into next season just him only as our DM. And the thing is, this is not even his natural position. You know, Slot, into his credit, made him into this player, made him into that, and he just showed levels above. Let's just say, what's his face? Declan had not got the presence that he has. Like, let's be real. Declan's a good player. He's a good player. Don't get me wrong.
Different
but
skill
this
set.
guy, come on.
Okay, so I'm not going to cover off his comments. They're all kind of could have been written by
generic, always, yeah.
But I will say the stats surprised me a little bit. Only 8 goals and 123 appearances. In my mind, he was more like I don't know, 17, 18 goals in that time. Maybe that's one area that he can improve, Mr. Samage. Do you think there's a particular part of his game that he needs to work on going forward that you'd highlight?
Yeah, I was going to say that, exactly that. I think also, yeah, like JWS said, his availability, 123 appearances in two and 3/4 seasons already is really, really good. It's a lot of
That's
games.
more than Adam Lallana.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's good. But yeah, I'd love to see him get some more goals. And like we said, started off the season well, was getting some of those goals. I think Newcastle away, there's a couple others and some assists. So I'd like to see some more goals from him for sure. But in terms of what he does for his position, yeah, he's right up there. The reigning young player of the season in the Premier League, got into the team of the year last year with, that's something, that wasn't even a discussion point. Gravenberch just straight in. So I think, it's a really good signal of intent from the club as well. 6 years, really top talent. We're going to sign you up, and they're paying him. By all accounts, accounts in Dutch media is around 280k a week as a base, which I think also shows, that FSG model of, we don't always spend a lot in the transfer markets. Obviously, this year we did, but we're not expecting that for the next 2 or 3. But what we're going to do, we're going to tie these players down. If you remember, 5 years ago, Alisson, Robertson, all these players were all signing 6-year contracts. There was a period where no one signed less than 4 years, apart from he who must not be named. So, 6-year contracts is a signal of intent from the club and kind of shows that, yeah, we're rewarding you. In those 123 appearances, yeah, you keep this rate up, yeah, you're going to be well worth the money.
Fantastic summary. I'm hoping to sign up Jez, Double S, Mr. Sandwich, and Mike on 6-year contracts. I'm hoping they aren't poached from the pod. We appreciate your eyes and ears. And just before we leave, if I said to you guys, let me stop sharing this first of all. If I said to you guys, Ali Sami Jensborg Koplecki Rams, would that mean anything to you?
Yes. Ali Sami Yen is welcome to hell, Galatasary.
That's right. That's the name of their stadium.
Yeah.
That's where we'll be heading on Tuesday. Weird kickoff time, 5:45, which is annoying. I've got to rush from work. But
oh man,
how are we feeling about that? I'll start with you, Double S. How are you feeling about that fixture? It is big stakes, right? We're now into the knockouts. This is serious time.
Do you know what it is?
Boys come to play. What's going to happen?
The first leg of the round of, is it 32? It's round of 16, right?
Round of 16.
The first leg of the round of 16 is probably the most nerve-wracking of all Champions League time, because it's like that's when it gets real, and you want to see who's got the minerals. That's when because the group stages is like, yeah, great. You want to see, because we've seen it with many other teams, even last season. That first leg against PSG. After watching the first leg, I thought, we ain't gonna win this Premier League. We ain't gonna win this Champions League. I can see it. I could just see it. The way we got ripped apart. And I think, I remember when we went to in 2018, that first leg. I remember Valentine's Day. I remember clearly because I was in a situation. Valentine's Day against Porto, 2018, and Mo Salah just went mad. All
of them did, but Salah was
Salah, Mane, Firmino, they all went mad in the orange kit. I was like,
orange kit,
I was like, these boys are on it. We can do something. So, and that
did that also rescue your Valentine's Day that year?
It kind of ruined it because obviously because I was focused on the wrong thing. But anyway, and then also I remember 2020. I remember in 2005. We're again by Leverkusen, and Igor Bischan was like doing amazing stuff, right? And that's when you got to see. I want to see how I want to see this game. So much rests on this game for me in terms of how I'm going to view us going forward. So to answer your question, I'm hoping for good things. I'm just hoping for like a 1-0, 2-1, something like that. Because I think if we can dominate them there, then I have no problem dominating champion but if we struggle there, then it's like yeah.
What's a struggle? Like, is a 1-0 defeat like really bad?
No, I'm talking about performance.
Oh, okay.
Because remember, because we won away at PSG last season. We struggled.
Yeah, that's fair. Very fair.
we got murdered. We got murdered. It was a 1-0 murdering of a victory.
Yeah. So,
okay, and so, what's your prediction for that game, please?
A prediction, I'm thinking of 2-1. Liverpool win. Yeah.
Okay. Definitely take that, Mr. Sandwich.
Yeah, I'll go with the prediction first. I'll go over 2-1 as well. I think it's good that Vert's got a good 20-odd minutes on Friday. Shows that he's able to at least get on the pitch. So I'm hoping he can start, to be honest. Because it was a back injury. So you're either fit or you're not with a back. It's not like a hamstring or something where you've got to work into it. So hopefully we'll have him. Hopefully he'll be able to dictate a lot of our movements going forward. Obviously, Ekitike comes straight back in. I agree. Basically, everything JW said. Like, it shows whether you're serious or not. This is the round where everyone else is looking as well. Like, oh, actually, yeah, Galatasaray. Is it routine? Have they made light work of them over 2 legs, or have they gone toe to toe? That is what the indicator would be. So I fully agree, basically, with the comments. Yeah,
and we're first up, so
Yeah.
all eyes on us.
Everyone's gonna be.
And many familiar faces. We all know about Osman, even though he's not played in the Premier League. And I think he bagged again on the weekend against Besiktas in the league. They're now 7 points clear, so comfortable times for them in their league. But you've got Gundogan too, or Gundogan. Who's the other one? And Sane, Leroy Sane as well. So lots of familiar faces who have hurt us in the past in City shirts. Actually.
Sane, my goodness.
Yeah.
But we've hurt them. But we've hurt them.
We have. I'm going to go for a 2-2, and I'll be very comfortable with that outcome. I know away goals don't count for anything, but just psychologically being able to hit them and knowing also that we are quite defensively vulnerable. We lost there last time we were there. I just will struggle emotionally to deal with a defeat. It's going to leave my nerves very shredded going into the return leg the following week. But I would love a 2-1. I would love it. I'd love a 3-0, but
love it.
What can I visualize? I can visualize a score draw, and I'll happily take that because I think coming back to Anfield will get the job done. And we know that should we get past that round, there are bigger and more testing times ahead for the Reds. Right, we've covered a lot, guys. I appreciate your time on this Sunday morning, now afternoon. Double S, make sure you go have another herbal tea. Mr. Sandwich, let me know where you got that lighting from because it is exactly the same. And to the viewers and listeners, thank you so much for your time, for your support of the pod. Please continue to like, subscribe, follow, all that stuff. You know how it goes. I'm not going to say it again. And we shall catch you on Tuesday after, hopefully, we beat Galatasary. What have I missed?
I'll be working on something. My fives.
I hope Jez is not watching. She's going to sue you for.
She'll be disappointed. First of all, by your execution, and secondly, by the fact I neglected to mention it. So maybe you guys can do it in unison, viewers and listeners. It really does help the pod if you support us by giving us a 5-star rating. Jez may be out of a job. Maybe not. We'll catch you on Tuesday, hopefully, after we go to, let's call it the Rams Park Stadium. And
is that what it's called?
Yeah. Well, that's the shortened version.
Oh, okay.
Rams is the end of the name.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Enjoy your week and enjoy basking in the glory of Wolves 1, Liverpool 3. We'll catch you next time. You never walk alone.
All right. Cheers.